Well, here are the results of my mom's hair. This is the second day, so she might say, well, you got to do this, give it some more fluff and all of that. What do you think? Does it look good? I'm not sure. Once this forehead gets changed for FFS next week, which is crazy to say, I think I'll feel better about it. So it's been about exactly a week since I had surgery, and I'm healing pretty well. I'm going to see the doctor today, so we'll find out more about how the healing is actually going. It's really surprised me how long it takes to heal. Have you ever gone through a major surgery before? How has it been for you in terms of healing? For me, I was surprised at how well my body adapted, but I was also surprised at the little things where I'm just, oh my God, like I can't move my arm that far, or ouch, that distance isn't a good thing. I'm supposed to keep my arms like this, like a T-Rex. Like I can't do anything. I'm just a T-Rex, like, which is really funny because that reminds me of my childhood when I used to pretend to be a velociraptor from Jurassic Park. But yeah, so today I'm going to see the doctor, and then on Saturday I fly out to San Francisco for FFS. I'm not having FFS on Friday, but I'm going to have FFS the following Friday. I just got to be in San Francisco to do the CT scan, the scan of the face, the whole skull, and get tested for COVID again and get settled in and ready for this next piece. I am starting to realize that I was a bit ambitious over this journey. Do you ever overbook yourself or kind of like overestimate how much you can do? I thought giving myself this time to heal and spacing them out about 2 weeks would be enough. The doctor said it was enough, but this is too much traveling. Honestly, it's a lot. And just as I feel like I'm just about to settle in, I have to go somewhere else. And I am thinking a lot about travel and the fact that I'm gonna have to come back in 3 months, which has got me thinking, maybe I should stay in America for a little bit longer. I certainly could do that, but the one thing that I'd be missing is my guy back home. And so that's sort of the thing. This kind of situation where you have to weigh out you versus what you want. And what I want is I want my cake and I want to eat it too. I want my healing, I want my family, I want my boy, but I can't get all of those. And so it's had me checking in with myself. It's kind of one of those tough situations, right? You've been there before where you're like, well, both of these options are good, but which one is the better option and what's right for me? And I don't know what kind of questions you ask yourself when you're in this situation, but for me, the most important one is I say, okay, what is my knowing say? What's in my heart? Because you can logically mind yourself through whatever kind of decision you need to make. I could say, well, it's most pragmatic for me to stay because, it's less travel, it's safer, blah, 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 et cetera, et cetera. But there's a lot of nuance to that because staying here with my family for 3 months also means I'm with my family for 3 months. And I don't know about you, but for me, being around my family can sometimes trigger me into states that I was more like in a child state, getting defensive, getting into arguments with my mom over stupid little things like that. And I definitely don't want that to affect my work or affect my productivity as I start to ramp up after I've done with my healing. And so what I do in these larger life decisions, and I did this in Berlin for making the decision to move to Berlin and also making the decision to transition, what I do is I kind of imagine myself, and this is a really great exercise, so I highly recommend that you just take notes or just listen closely to remember this because it might help you in making a big decision in your life, whether it's transitioning or otherwise. But basically, I tap in, I lay down, I close off my thoughts, I just kind of relax, get myself into an open state that's not really biased, like trying to create things. try to get out of a reactionary state where you try to project onto an answer. You know, like when you ask yourself a question, you may snap to an answer and it may almost be a forced answer because you're like, this is the answer I want. Getting yourself into a state where you're not going to force that answer, and then ask yourself the question, what would it be like if I did this path? And then you imagine yourself walking down that path and smelling the flowers, so to speak, getting the feelings, the sensations from your knowing of what it's like to go down that way. And then just register that stuff. Try not to get tied up into it, but just register that information. When you're done going down that path, take a step back and then say, well, what would it be like if I went down this path? And walk down that path and start to feel what comes out of that. And in doing that this morning, the answer has been, I should stay here. And what surprised me the most about that is that it means that I can change my planning, because I was planning to go to Portland after my face surgery. Yes, I'm an idiot. I have those many plans to keep on traveling. I was going to go to Portland, to go up to Washington, to visit my life coach up there, and to work with him on another business that I have in the works. But instead, I'm going to come back to LA, rest some more, take it easy, do some work, launch the femininity program, and then kick off this other business idea that I have kicking around with him. And so I think like with less travel, it'll be more efficient for myself, and I'll also be able to rest and heal, because ultimately it's not what my mind wants, it's what my body wants right now. And my body's like, stop moving around, take care of yourself. I just want to sit and just heal. And it's so funny, the world we live in, right? Like, it's driven by the mind. Everything that we do involves the mind. And if it doesn't involve the mind and it's just the body, then you don't get paid much because you're just a body. The mind is all the value, and that's the world that we live in. But we also have to remember how valuable the body is, because if your body doesn't work, you can't do work. And also the body has intelligence in itself. It has a knowing deep within that can tell you things that your mind just can't answer. And so that's what this exercise I just spoke about is. It's about tapping into the knowing deeper within that the mind cannot just give you. It's this intuition, it's this connection with the subconscious, it's the connection with the universe, it's the connection across time and space and all of that epic stuff. So yeah, this has been an interesting tea time. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.